Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be starting out this video talking about the Dreaming City weapons. Now, the Dreaming City weapons, starting with Abade the Return. Abade, whatever. Abade the Return is a solar adaptive sword. Now, if we look at the adaptive swords, we have outliers for what are some of the best perks. So, Swordmaster's Guard. We're going to have Relentless Strikes, and we're going to have Surrounded. You're going to see this throughout the entirety of this little talk about for the adaptives, right? So left hand side, you can see the competition that they have, and most of the things that we're looking for in a weapon is going to be Relentless Strikes with Surrounded, but Abade the Return does something different that the other ones doesn't do with Relentless Strikes and Attrition Orbs. Now, Relentless Strikes and Attrition Orbs may seem like a weird combination before, but if you think about the Chivalric Fire also has a static roll of the Relentless Strikes with Attrition Orbs. Relentless Strikes with Attrition Orbs gives you a different outlook on how to use a sword. Most people use swords for DPS, and some of the other swords in that category just don't stack up to that type of fantasy, because we all have a sword already that we use for certain things, right? So if you're going into Crota, you're probably going to be using the Bequest, you're probably going to be using one of the class specific swords, unless we're talking about the Throne Cleaver. But some of the examples here, we got the Nasariden, also gets the Relentless Strikes, gets the Surrounded. The Razor's Edge is nothing really much to talk about. It's a, what is it, what it is the little spin thing. The Hero of Aegis was a hard weapon to get, but there's nothing to write home about here either, besides the chain reaction, and you're not really using a sword with chain reaction on it. If it had, like, I don't know, some type of, if Volt Shot worked differently, put Volt Shot on it. All in all, the Caretaker is going to be one of your best craftable weapons here with the craftable Surrounded Relentless Strikes. The Noble Deeds in niche type of builds is going to round out the Caretaker to a viable, good alternative if you don't have the Bequest crafted. Now, looking at the class-specific weapons, but going to the actual Bequest itself, starts off with a staggering 70 charge rate. One Loosened Blade mod on it will put it at a 100% charge rate. In my opinion, putting the Bequest over the Lament in most cases. If you've ever done a Crota run with a Surrounded Relentless Strike player with the Bequest, they say, hey, don't kill the two boomers on the top of the tower, don't kill the ads below, because they want to get the max DPS and put everybody else on oversoul duty. Now, the Gold Tusk is also good for the Hunter. It does give you increased movement speed as it is a lightweight. The animation makes it look like you run faster, but you actually do run faster, and we're going to get that unrelenting, and we're also going to get that we're going to get the Relentless Strikes with the Whirlwind Blade. Now, the Relentless Strikes with the Whirlwind Blade, if you do a certain amount of damage, you end up getting increased damage up to 30%, so no need to proc Surround it. But with the Vice Stinger there, it's the Vice Weapon perk is going to increase your charge rate for that sword to give you more heavy attacks. And that heavy attack is akin to the swirling around. You don't really do an upward swing. The Death's Razor also does that circular motion with the Vortex frame. We have Vortex frames, but that one can get Relentless Strikes and Surrounded. Now, the Throne Cleaver is like an aggressive sword. The Heavy Guard is really going to knock down that charge rate for the weapon. Nothing really puts this weapon, the Throne Cleaver, above anything else. You're going to have stuff like, I don't know, I think it's Tireless Blade or Assassin's Blade or some things like that, but putting it with a Vorpal weapon, now that Vorpal's been nerfed for power weapons, it really makes it just a 10% buff there. You can end up putting a boss spec on there to give it up to, I don't know, mediocre levels of damage. But even the Night Terror from the Moon from Eris Morn gets the Relentless Strikes and Surrounded on it. Now, most swords are going to be used in Crota. You're not really using a sword for most other raid bosses. You're not going to be using a sword for Oryx. You're not going to be using it for Taniks. You're not going to be using it for the Big Vex Mind and Garden of Salvation. So what are you really using a sword for? You're really using a sword for fun. You're using a sword for Crota. And most people are going to say in this video, probably in the comments, for those who actually watch it, that why don't you just use Lament? And Lament if you're revving up like that, you're revving up like that. But Lament's charge rate is not better than the Bequest. It's not better than a Vice. What's that thing called? Gold Tusk. It's not better than that. The DPS is cool, but it's not as much if you can't get those revelations with the is it called revelations when you rev up a chainsaw, right? You're not going to be able to get that with the Lament, because if you end up missing your combo of your light heavy attack combo to what light heavy, you get the 5 strikes and you're supposed to get all that damage, but that those revelations are tied to the charge rate of the actual sword. So if you don't feel that it's revving up, that's because your charge rate ain't up, and the charge rate depends on how much you can actually rev that sword up. So with 100% charge rate on your heavy attack, you're going to get max revelations with the actual sword. Now the double-edged answer is actually a sleeper that most people have been sitting on. It can get the 30% charge rate. You can put up to 2 lucent blade mods on it, putting that up to an 80, because 2 will give you 50 charge rate. And it does come with the repulsor brace destabilizing rounds. You can get a combination of, I want to say, relentless strikes and surrounded. You can get the demolitionist with the adrenaline junkie. You have relentless strikes with attrition orbs. You can get the thresh with attrition orbs, and the nadir focus on this weapon really doesn't put it above any other class for anything like that. But overall, even if you did a harmony with relentless strikes, you're still looking at I want to say a 20 to 30% damage increase for that sword. So the double-edged answer you can get from Zavala, if you just want to spam your engrams out, is not a bad takeaway for any of the weapons. Now, the Nadir Focus, not the Nadir Focus, but the Abad the Return is also working with the artifact. So it will apply Scorch to targets that can't be scorched if you're using could be the Flint Striker, the one that gives you Radiant. So Abide the Return isn't bad if you want to keep a good solar roll if you don't have the Caretaker crafted. Now the Vouchsafe. The Vouchsafe is a lightweight scout rifle void. Now looking at the competition on the left hand side, we have the Tarnished Mantle, we have the Eternal Blazing, and the Pleiades Corrector. Eternal Blazing and Pleiades Corrector haven't returned back to us, but it will as far as lightweights go, this is going to be the void version of that. Eternal Blaze and Pleiades Corrector are more Amalong weapons, so Vouchsafe is going to feel different in that vein. But when you shoot Vouchsafe, it kind of feels like it should have been a rapid fire frame. But nonetheless, Vouchsafe does put out with its repulsor brace destabilizing rounds. But the roll that you're probably going to want to get is the rapid hit explosive payload, so you don't get that damage drop off against those long downrange targets. Probably going to do an accurized rounds. And the advanced reflexes for the actual Dreaming City weapons lets you get back into the fight once you've been hit. It's a reactive type of perk, not like ambush, right? So Tarnished Metal Volt Shot really doesn't work the way that it's supposed to. Eternal Blazing had some okay perks on it, so you get different types of scopes with it. You can also get the ricochet rounds, you can get the arm piercing rounds, the high caliber rounds, but you can also get the rapid hit, you can also get the kill clip on it, you can also get the overflow thresh, and that's more like a Talak at home. So if you missed like Talak, right, and you want to pair it with the if you want to pair it with the Warlock, then my voice is getting a little hoarse right now, hold on. You can use things like that. Now a lot of people don't want to use Thresh because they're like, oh, it's like a 1% increase to your super. I don't know, if you're getting kills and you're killing ads, it's not going to be a bad get if you do decide to end up using Thresh somewhere down the road, because Thresh works differently for primaries and for energy weapons, those that take special and those that don't. Now Tigerspite, right, I'm talking about the Vouchsafe in Tigerspite's time on the screen. Tigerspite's a fantastic gun. Tigerspite, you got to look at its competition and think about why you're keeping it around. Now the Breakneck's cool, but do you go into Gambit like that? The 7th Seraph Carbine really outclasses it as the way it feels and it looks and its traits, right? I want to say it can get like Reconstruction, I think it can get Rewind rounds, it can get the 7th Seraph rounds. 7th Seraph Carbine is really going to outclass it, but are you going inside of the dungeon that drops the 7th Seraph Carbine? Did you have one from way back when? Do you have a crafted Firefight? If you've missed all those, then Tigerspite is probably going to be your best bet for getting something as good as the Braytech Winter Wolf, getting something as good as the 7-Seraph Carbine, or getting something that feels decent as the as the Breakneck. Now the Breakneck stands out because of its keep away, its kinetic tremors. It has a lot of things going for it with its onslaught perk. And the way that those actual weapons feel. Now, I want to say Breakneck can get field tested as well, which is really going to, again, outclass the Tigerspite. But looking at any of the Braytech, the Horror Story, those are seasonal guns that come in October. A lot of people got a lot of things going on during those holiday times between October, November, and December. So maybe you didn't get a Horror Story. Maybe you weren't here for when we had to run Nightmares in that in that callus area to get you a firefight, or maybe you just don't have the harmonic resonators to craft you a fire sprite. Getting one from Xur or getting one from the gunsmith is going to be one of your better options. But Tigerspite, if you get you a good roll with the overflow kinetic tremors, that's what's it's gonna send you over the moon with that. Now, talking about Sleepless, Sleepless is very good, and I slept on it for a long time. Right? No pun intended for the name of the gun. Dreaming City weapon with Sleepless. I finally got me a good roll that comparative to my Roar of the Bear. Now we have impact casing. We have, let's see, I kind of missed out on that perk. It was the linear compensator. I want to say, yeah, linear compensator. Now, going to my Roar of the Bear, either if it's new school, old school, Roar of the Bear, they're both fantastic to get that linear compensator with the impact case and the tracking module. And Roar of the Bear specifically, we're going to do incandescent, not the chain reaction, because we want the scorch. We want to play into the actual perk, you know what I mean, with the solar, the verbs is what I'm saying. But the Samochen, a lot of people talk about this. The only thing good about this is it has the keep away with the blast zone. Blast zone's been changed to where you can go point blank range basically with an enemy and not take any damage. It's something of a, I guess, niche affair, but there's no tracking there. So if you miss your shot, you miss your shot. And a lot of people don't like missing this shot. And like if I got time to go and miss a shot, I might as well take off the Samochen and put on anything else. Right? I don't even think I've crafted this thing. Now, the code Dulio really doesn't have anything to write home about, but the Braytech Offspray, some people were talking about the Braytech Offspray, but they were probably talking about Bipod and what's that, Envious Assassin, get up to 8 rounds in the mag or some bull crap like that. The Braytech Offspray, still, in my opinion, adept, regular, give it to me for free, make it gold, is still bad. Even the Tomorrow's Answer has what you need with the impact casing, the linear compensator. It's got the tracking, and it's got the chain reaction. That's Void. You may want to go cluster bombs if you like the aesthetic of hitting an enemy or hitting the ground, and then so if you miss your shot, you still get some damage there. So Tomorrow's Answer is a better answer than Braytech's Offspray. Now, what you're going to do with Sleepless is you're actually going to use it for Add Clear. I mean, it's a rocket launcher. You can hit it for DPS, but if you've ever been in a Grandmaster Nightfall and you've got one of these battlegrounds, now the battlegrounds do have a lot of add density, and the Sleepless, the Roar of the Bear, Tomorrow's Answer, all those weapons with the tracking and the chain reaction or the incandescent is going to do way more for you and your team than going in there with I don't know what with a bait and switch. What's that thing called that everyone uses? I don't even use Apex Predator. There we go. With a bait and switch Apex Predator. So the bait and switch Apex Predator has been overly hyped in my opinion. Now, if we're talking about a weapon that performs but doesn't really do anything, then we're going to be talking about the Twilight Oath. The Twilight Oath comes with a 35 zoom. It does come with great sights. It has a decent amount of perks on it, but the main thing you're probably going to be looking for is open shot and snapshot. Open shot, snapshot is going to be good. They got a heal clip, kill clip roll that's kind of niche, right? If you want to do that for YouTube content. The Enlightened Action Precision Instrument, I really don't see that outweighing a 4 times the charm Focus Fury. So mainly Twilight Oath is going to be like a PvP type of weapon. It's good at what it does, but you're not going to be using it for ad clear. You're not going to be using open shot incandescent on your Twilight Oath. If you have that rapid fire frame sniper rifle, I want to say it's the Ikelos, whatever number follows behind that, and even then you're probably doing a 4 times the charm or triple tap with either box breathing or Focus Fury. You can get decent recoil direction on the Twilight Oath, but I don't really think recoil direction is going to be like the cup of tea when it comes to shooting this sniper rifle. Because when you're shooting this Twilight Oath, again, you're not doing it for DPS phases. You're using it in PvP. So if you're missing your shots, you may want to go with a more aim assist friendly type of sniper rifle. Twilight Oath is for those who really like using Twilight Oath, who may have had one in the past, because the advanced reflexes, again, it's a reactive type of perk versus a active perk like ambush. Now the Persuader is a gun that probably many of us have been sleeping on, unless you are just the GOAT in all activities, because it can get fantastic recoil direction. It can get up to 100% recoil direction. You can put bullets down range with this gun. It's got a rapid hit. It's got a 3 times the charm on it. It's got a rapid hit moving target. It's got a keep away opening shot. Destabilizing rounds with repulsor brace. It has the discord with the high ground. There's so many good things here for the Persuader, with it being void. It can play with volatile rounds. Good for any hunter kit. If you're a Titan, that it's going to play well with I want to say they're called Titan's Ramparts, the ones that you can shoot through, that no one ever uses. And the Ikelos is going to be a good replacement for any type of DPS phase. Again, I use the 4 times the charm Focus Fury. You can go with the no distractions box breathing if that's your cup of tea. I tried to use overflow on it. It just didn't feel right. With the 4 times the charm felt better, because overflow just pulls everything from reserves and kind of leaves your mag low. So if overflow overflowed the magazine, still gave me all my reserves back, that would be great. But again, even the Father Sins, we've probably forgotten all about Father Sins at this point, and it does get the 3 times the charm, 3 times the charm triple tap, and the Focus Fury. I've been calling it 3 times the charm this whole time. But you got the triple tap, you got the Focus Fury, you got the opening shot, you got the no distractions. You also have the, let's see, under pressure with snapshot. You got under pressure with Focus Fury. You got a lot of good options here with Father Sins, and you can't really mess it up if you're looking for a rapid fire that does a little bit extra, because it has that, I want to say, that psychosis type of deal where you do sustain damage to an enemy, it ends up doing 10% less damage on it. So if you're shooting at a target and you're really putting damage on them with the Father Sins, they're going to be doing less damage to your team. So that's helpful all around. Even the Omniscient Eye is good with Mulligan and Rampage. So when those weapons come back, you can probably see that it's going to get a good treatment. It's going to probably be the upgraded Twilight Oath, in my opinion. Now, the Widow's Bite, the Apostate, the Distant Tumulus, and I think that's it. These are Vice weapons that don't got the Vice like treatment yet, with Vice weapons being able to reload randomly back into themselves. If they had some sort of ensemble firing line or 3 triple tap with 4 times the charm, it would be a weapon worth getting, I guess, going for in the Altars of Sorrow, getting the Apostate that ended up having some sort of origin trait that matched along with the type of weapon that it was. So we're not seeing that the Altars of Sorrow weapons have gotten any love with any unique traits, but rest assured, Bungie likes reusing content and regurgitating it back to us. So the Moon weapons could eventually get some sort of perk later down the road. But going out to get an Apostate right now without the Vice trigger effect on it, using a rapid fire, you're better off crafting something completely different than that, in my opinion. So if you get an Apostate that you like, go ahead and trash it, because there's other weapons out there that you can get, such as the does everything, does nothing Twilight Oath that you've probably gotten 1,000 times from the, what is that thing called? The helm activity. I'm drawing a complete blank on it. I do it so many times. What is it called? The coil. The coil or Riven's Lair, right? Doing the coil activities. Now we're going to talk about some people's fan favorites out there. Probably Ascross's favorite still to this day. Again, it's a reactive weapon to engagements, but Waking Vigil is not bad. But if we look at the competition on the left, you may have been deleting Waking Vigils that you should have kept around. And in the past, I've said Waking Vigil is trash. I don't use Waking Vigil, but that's because I have options here, and I have some of the other weapons that I'm going to point out on this list that many new players or some people who don't really play some in-game activities don't have. So Waking Vigil is going to be a good come-up for them. So with a chambered compensator, you get the ricochet rounds, you get the outlaw, you get the kill clip. Now it says rapid hit kill clip, but I mean, if you're hitting precision shots, then outlaw is going to be your best friend. You have annual skate, you have the ancient gospel. Again, when the Garden of Salvation weapons get a rework, it's going to be fantastic. You got Nation of Beasts. You could have used your wish tokens to be getting those, but if you're already going to be using Nation of Beasts, you probably should have been keeping Waking Vigils on the side. Zaloon's Bane is going to be used by solar enthusiasts. Cantata 57 is going to be the top tier arc weapon that you probably can't get anymore. The Palindrome, that comes from Zavala. That's a Nightfall exclusive weapon. We have the Apocryphal integration, so you got to do that little mission to get the Apocryphal. We have Crisis Inverted. It doesn't feel good, but those who know how to use an Almalong 140, more power to them. The Finite Impactor is probably going to be one of people's best bets to get a arc 140 hand cannon that kind of feels okay. Now, if we look at the Finite Impactor, it has a whole bunch of different sights. Now, does it really change the sights of the Finite Impactor? I don't know. I didn't keep one around long enough to be like, I'm using Finite Impactor and I'm feeling real good about it. Because most of the perks on the Finite Impactor just don't go together and they're all trash. So, no matter how you change the sights around, you can give it ricochet rounds. You can go in with the stats for all, or a Killing Wind. And Killing Wind, it's funny that it's got Killing Wind on it because you'll never get a kill with this weapon to proc Killing Wind. And we have the multi-kill clip again. So we have 2 kill perks to activate on the gun before making it better. So even if this gun had advanced reflexes on it, I wouldn't advise anybody to use the Finite Impactor over the Waking Vigil. Now, Waking Vigil, you're going to go in with at a 98 recoil direction, so you really don't need to put nothing on there. The Cantata 57 sits at the 85 recoil direction, and it's got the Suros synergy on it. Reloading the gun makes it so that you take less flinch. You can go with a you can go with the arrowhead break, or you can go with the, I want to say it's rifled barrel. The rapid hit focus fury is good. Rapid hit moving target. Rapid hit time payload. Heating up. All in all, Cantata 57 is going to outclass Waking Vigil hands down. But if you like the Waking Vigil, if you like the way that it shoots, the animations, the way that the gun goes up, the recoil of it, it's all fantastic. The Waking Vigil, in my opinion, is good, but I do have a Cantata 57. So for me personally, I don't keep it. But is it good? Yes. Is it the best? No. But do you have a Palindrome? Do you have a Cantata 57? Do you have, if you got Finite Impactor, I'm sorry. And if you do like using Finite Impactor, please pick something else, because there are better options. Waking Vigil, in my opinion, is good for the Arc Kit. Now, with the Arc Kit itself, the Arc whole subclass itself is kind of reactive. When you take a hit or you get critically wounded, you get increased this, you get increased that. You attack with a melee, you get enhanced reload speed. If you end up being surrounded by combatants, then you gain more resistance. You know what I mean? So the whole art kit with a Waking Vigil is good. Waking Vigil outside of its subclass terms is not too good, because when you don't hit the precision hit with outlaw is, it's going to be activated on the kill when you get the kill, the precision hit, but rapid hit is going to be on if you did enough hits. You know what I mean? If you're doing enough hits and not getting the kill, what are you really hitting? You know what I mean? If it's working differently than a gun that, in my opinion, if you're using Cantata 57 with rapid hit, with the Cantata 57, you're going to end up getting that kill because it has better perks in the last column versus Waking Vigil, where it wants you to do a lot to get the benefit later. If that makes any sense, because you take the Waking Vigil out there, you take out a palindrome, or you take out even a Crisis Inverted, you're going to see the difference in the way that the Waking Vigil attacks a gunfight versus the way that an Amalon Crisis Inverted or a Suros Cantata 57. Those classes of the types of guns are going to be extremely important, because it seems like Bungie is leaning more into class-specific things for weapons. Tex Mechanica, Balanced Stock, Suros Synergy weapons. You have Rasputin's Arsenal. You have the Crota verbs for the raid weapons. You know what I mean? So Waking Vigil with its Dreaming City reflective, I keep wanting to say reflective actions, but it's reflexive actions, really just says everything you need to know about the people of the Dreaming City. They are reactive versus proactive. Now, if you are in the Arc subclass, you are playing a reactive build, and you're not using a proactive build. Something's got to happen first before you get the benefit, like Volt Shot. You got to get the kill first, you got to do the reload, then you shoot, and then once you hit a target, you get the jolt effect. I don't know about you, but again, I don't like the way that Volt Shot works, or Jolt Shot, or whatever it's called, works on any gun. If Jolt Shot, Volt Shot, whatever, ended up getting that the target lingers with that jolt effect for an extended period of time, up until, I don't know, for the remainder of the magazine, maybe it would have been good, but all in all, Bungie needs to do something about it, because I don't even see myself getting hit by any Volt Shot, Jolt Shot weapons ever, even in the Crucible. No one's using it anymore. If they got time to use Jolt Shot, Volt Shot, then they got time to activate Kill Clip, and that's probably going to pay out in dividends for them versus them reloading and giving me a little tickle with a little sparkle. Now, coming over to some of the final weapons here, we have the Retold Tale. Now, the Retold Tale is, gosh, it's the sleeper that I've been missing out on it for a while, and getting a good roll on it is very hard, because you're gonna have two types of people. You're gonna have PvP people, you're gonna have PvE people, and the PvE and PvP people, you got repulsor places, stabilizing rounds. Fantastic to get on this shotgun. If you don't think so, go out there, shoot the gun with both of those perks, and maybe use it on a Titan, because hunters are probably out there using the Matador with opening shot, perpetual motion, and this is the Titan's precision frames that they've been waiting on, with destabilizing rounds and repulsor brace. Now, you can do a little bit more niche things with the barrel constriction and well-rounded, but the snapshot quick draw on the shotgun, that package hasn't been found in quite some time for this archetype of guns for the precision frames. A lot of people did this. They still use the Fractalus. Now, the Fractalus came out way back when, and some people's Fractalus even have full auto on it still, but you can't knock the lethality of a precision frame gun. If you can hit your shots 110% of the time, a pinpoint slug shotgun like Duality is probably going to be more up your alley. But if we're just talking about versatility, Swiss Army knife type of weapon, and we're talking about a gun that's going to feel good when you shoot it, then we're not talking about the aggressive types of frames, because they feel kind of weird. We're talking about the Retold Tale. Now, precision frames, again, Matador. We have Fractalus. We have believe it or not, Compass Rose was actually pretty good, and I deleted a pretty good roll of it that I had before the whole airborne effectiveness changes came about and all that jazz. So I'm looking to get a good Compass Rose with air assault and possibly snapshot, something like that, right? So I can get better accuracy using a hunter, jumping up above an enemy, aiming down sights and blasting that guy in the head. Now the Prophet of Doom was okay. I expect that to get a big rework when it comes back later. And a precision frame weapon, Compass Rose, quick draw, snapshots. You're not gonna go wrong with that roll. It's gonna feel good. You're gonna get that 1 second of 100% handling. You can throw on I want to say it's like a smooth bore type of deal. Let me go ahead and check that out. Is it going to be a smooth bore? Because it's going to give you more range. So you can do smooth bore, you can do small bore, and the small bore is going to give you more range, more stability, and the assault mag is going to give you more stability with that. So, and again, if you're running up on an enemy in PvP, the advanced reflexes is going to give you more mobility, more handling for that type of gun. Now, shotguns are more of a reactive type of tool, so the advanced reflexes on this shotgun feel pretty good. And combining this with the Gerfalcon's, you get both benefits. You get Gerfalcon's benefit, and then you get the benefit of destabilizing rounds. Now, you shoot an enemy up close, if the big target's surrounded by enemies, it's going to affect the little enemies around it. You're probably using it to take out an orange bar. So again, even if you didn't have destabilizing rounds or repulsor brace, you're going to feel good about the quick draw, snapshot, precision frame Retold Tale. So if you've deleted a Retold Tale that's had destabilizing rounds with repulsor brace, go back out to the coil, get all those chests, and try to get one of those. If you get a quick draw, snapshot sights, in my opinion, you've gotten the god roll. If you get a handling masterwork, that's a 5 out of 5. And upon getting a smooth bore, not smooth bore, but a small bore roll on top of that, so you're looking at small bore, we're looking at assault mag, repulsor brace, destabilizing rounds, or previously what I said before with quick draw snapshot sights with a handling masterwork. You're gonna be head over heels for this precision frame gun. It's not gonna leave your hands. So again, if you guys do enjoy these types of videos, the types of I explain the weapon, show the weapon off to you, explain why it's good or bad, and show you some of the counter rolls to it to give you more of an understanding on how these YouTubers go about putting together their overall god roll videos, go ahead and drop a like on the video, leave a comment and subscription, and I'll see you guys in the next one.